with the different laws. Our commitment, or this goes to who? Our commitment is that it's a call to all citizens of this country to wake up on that role of parental responsibility. Like I said in the morning, why should you bring children to the world to come and suffer? If you are not going to look after them, don't bring them to the world. So that's my call to action.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Do we have alternative care ready? All child trafficking? I need representatives from the different thematic groups that are going to share with us what has come out of your discussion this afternoon. Alternative care. Let us welcome alternative care. Alternative care. Hey. 3 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Alternative care. Our best practices were safeguarding policies in place to protect the children that we bring under our care. We found that we have strong safeguarding commitments. All our staff sign safeguarding code of conduct. We ensure that all the service providers have a safeguarding clause in the contracts that we give them to ensure that whoever comes in contact with the children that we keep and look after in alternative care promises and signs a contract to keep children safe. We also do safe recruitment. We also have a prevention, sexual harassment, exploitation policy in place so that we are not only keeping children safe, but also we also practice safe behaviors that do depict good examples for the children. We looked at the gaps that despite what we are doing to keep children safe, we have a gap in terms of regulating, because some of the alternative care institutions look after the children who are a little big. For example, the shelters for teenage pregnancies sometimes are looked after as children's villages, and yet they offer special services. So we thought that that is an advocacy gap that we can engage all of us who are into alternative care and government, so that we are looked at as people, we are given special status, because we are not only looking after the babies who are being born, we are also supporting the teenage mothers. We also said, although we are doing everything possible, there are pockets of child-to-child abuse, because we are looking at different children from different setups. So we want to engage a lot and lobby all alternative care institutions to work towards strengthening interventions that keep children safe when under our care. We don't want to bring them and then they become culprits for teenage pregnancy. Am I not even doing what at the same time? So our commitment is that all of us as alternative care serving organizations should come together and dialogue more and find out, what are we doing better? What are we not doing better? How can we put our synergies together to ensure, brains together to ensure that we make alternative care a better place for those children who must end up in alternative care. Also, we talked about bringing a discussion on policies that promote, engaging children more, creating more spaces for children, because sometimes when we're talking about child protection, child safeguarding, it's us the adults. But how do children feel protected? So we talked about the need for us as alternative care providers, creating for us for child-led risk assessments, child-led discussions, and then them giving us feedback on the gaps that they see so that we can ride on that to improve our safeguarding programming. Thank you so much.
All right, very good, straight to the point. Let us keep it like that, and let me welcome the representative from child trafficking. Yes, and please, when you come, tell us your name and the organization that you come from as well, so we get to know each other.
Thank you so much. I'm Noah Namwano. I work for Child Restoration Outreach Uganda, basically Ginger branch. We are handling child trafficking, and these are our best practices that we identified as a group, that we should have coordinated systems for identification of these children, systems that can track them from where they are coming from and even along the way. Once these systems are in place, we can track down on the victims, or rather, the victims and also the drivers, and that can help solve child trafficking. But also, we need to strengthen systems of withdrawal of these children who have been abused, so we can put them in safe spaces where they can feel comfortable, and then we can introduce rehabilitation to them, changing their mindset, because they could have been used to what they've been doing. And so we introduce new programs to them that can help them survive. Possibly they've been earning through abuse, and they thought maybe they can just settle for that. But now, after withdrawing them, now we introduce them to new skills. So we also say that we need to introduce systems of empowerment such that we are able to empower these children with new skills, such that they can see light even after they've been abused for a while. But we have to tell them and assure them that they can live in another way. And so we give them empowerment programs. We also say that we should give them livelihood programs such that we empower them economically, such that they can have a mindset change, and then they begin doing things on their own, and then that can help them to cope up and then get rid of the abuse. We also say that we should give them startup kits so that they can reinforce the skills that they have acquired from the skilling program. But we also said we should strengthen referral mechanisms such that, because we can't do it all, we can't do it alone, we can't work in isolation, so we should have referral mechanisms whereby we refer these children to where they can get services. And then we also said for the capacity gap, we said we should advocate for more players to withdraw these children who have been abused sexually. And also, we should advocate for commitment by the duty bearers, such that they are committed and they take it up. Like now we heard that children programs are embedded in every program. Whether the roads are being made, they are for children. But we are saying that can there be commitment such that they take it up as a serious issue, and that once it's not done, then that means we are losing out on the children. Then also advocate for more funding, also the narrowing space, that there can be, that the program can be liberal, and CSOs are able to advocate freely for these children. And also, in line with the commitments, we say that words must be accompanied with action. There has been a lot of talk about children issues, but now we are saying, could there be action? And then we also say the space should be liberal, and also make the operating space accommodative. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope that the thematic groups, as we make the commitments, we understand that it is us, like we are committing ourselves as civil service organizations to see that that those things we are going to do them. Si checho? And then the best practices is also those things that you are already doing and hopefully that you're going to continue to do to make sure that our children are safe. Can we have a representative from children with special needs? As we get the sexual violence against children group ready and then education. Yes, Amy. You have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Immaculate and I work with Children at Risk Action Network located in Namirembe. And I'm representing the special needs group. Some of the best practices that we've shared is the things that we are doing to support girls in special needs, but that are victims of either early marriages or crisis pregnancy. So some of the services that are provided are sexual reproductive health education to both parents and children. There is a lot of skilling or empowerment, life skill empowerment, child protection empowerment in whichever form, but aimed at helping girls to know and how to protect themselves from sexual abuse. But then groups or different organizations have also gone ahead to train mothers, specifically in menstruational or menstrual hygiene, and how to handle some of the concerns that are around that whole period and special needs girls. We shared of a model that is called Champions of Change, where young people are mobilized and trained to cascade information about protecting themselves, on how to handle abuse, how to report. They cascade these to the unreached peers. And then the other thing is case management is also going on among its members, and this includes sensitizing communities on where to report, especially stations where specifically special needs children can be supported. That also includes supporting victims and but also ensuring that there is access, that the victims actually access legal support. I'm remaining with 1 minute. That is very sad, but let me talk about the challenges that we've highlighted. That is our commitment to continue doing that. Now, in terms of the challenges that special needs organizations are facing, they are the same as the advocacy. It's the advocacy call that we make. One is in regards to information. A lot of information is out there, but it doesn't cater for all groups of special needs. For example, those that cannot see, are there platforms that can be availed to make information accessible so that even as we make empowerment, we are reaching all forms of children. But then the other thing that we've talked about is frustration from police. Yes, one of the other practice that I needed to mention with that is there is a lot of collaboration with authorities like the COWs, the RDCs, to enforce or to support CSOs doing this, working with special needs children. But then there is still a gap that a lot of cases are frustrated, especially in regards to accessibility, that a child can go to report a case, but who knows, the infrastructures are not there at police, maybe to access the station, or actually the police people do not know how to interpret. So the call also in that is, can we have sign language posted in like in hospitals, at police stations? And one more before you do me away. Specifically, because we are talking about early pregnancy or crisis pregnancy. Now, I actually said this in the group. You know, we have our nurses, and this example was given. It's a short girl with a disability, and as they go with this thing in front of them, the nurse is busy telling them, or the midwife, climb the bed, and if they can't, then they start. It's, for me, I call it harassment. twaliyo naawe, were we there with you? Climb the bed, and if not, then they are not attending to them or they are not receiving the services. So it is a call that even us who are developing proposals, funding proposals, we make inclusions of such aspects, and maybe to also add on to the voice of advocacy in our communities to change the attitude, but also to make services accessible to them. Thank you. I know I've not exhausted everything, but yeah, thank you.
We are not going to exhaust everything, but please write those things. You've already written them down. You're going to share them with the Secretariat. We are going to compile them because we are definitely wanting to see action after here. Can we have the group from education, please? And then sexual violence against children.
Good afternoon. My name is Gerard Okiria, and I'm the Child and Youth Specialist for Compassion International, Uganda. In the education group, we had interesting best practices. Literally, it was a group of experts, and everyone had something to submit. But I'll choose a few. One that stood out was the Nyumba Kumi pilot that is in Busia. This one is mainly one whereby this particular organization came up and established a library within the community. So where the library is located, there is a radius that they take on, only 5 families, and children who come from those homes are able to benefit from that library. And in there, they also have caseworkers who support the children so that they excel academically. The other thing that also stood out was the approach of economic empowerment, especially for the girl child. We noted that one of the reasons as to why many of the young girls drop out or maybe end up falling victims of teenage pregnancy is because they lack basic needs. So there was an approach shared that looked at the twin track model, whereby empowerment is made not only to the girl child or not only to the child, but also to the parents, so that they are economically empowered and their needs are provided accordingly. The last one was giving of incentives to children who are performing very well. An example was brought particularly by my organization where I work, whereby we noted that 3 years ago when we established an extra scholarship program for best performers, there has been great improvement of children who are excelling academically. And an example was 3 years ago we needed 50 students who are excelling academically. We only got literally like 40. And the next year when we needed again 50, we instead got 60. And this year when we needed 80, we actually got 160 students who were excelling highly, and that is across the country. So we noted that when we perform or when we give out incentives to students who are performing very well, they will be able to excel in their lives and their academics. So the advocacy gaps, one point, and I'm glad that my friend Commissioner is here. We noted that the compliancy of especially church-founded schools on re-entry guidelines for children back to school is very low. I also had one of the bishops saying that children who have conceived should not be admitted back to school. I'm sure some of you heard of that case. So we as children and youth advocates here, we are saying that through our mother ministry, let's work together to see that churches are able to support children who have conceived or who have given birth to get back to school. One commitment. I hope I still have the paper that has the answer. So the commitment, we we committed ourselves to encourage the different stakeholders, and in particular the parents, to appreciate the role of educating children, not only for us as an organization, but even them as key stakeholders. We noted that in there, many parents like saying that, and someone mentioned it in Luganda, bano baana ba kitongole, and not their own, and not owning that they have a role to play. So we said we need to continue educating them so that we educate children together. Thank you very much.
Ebirungi bigwa byokya. Thank you. Please put all the extra points down. You are going to be able to catch them. And in 1 minute, sexual violence against children group. Can we please come up? One best practice, one advocacy gap, one commitment, and then we call it a wrap.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm by the names of Noel Amongin Olga from Every Child Ministries, known as ECM. So our best practice as CSOs has been formulation of the different referral pathways that begin from the community level, the LC ones up to the CSOs, passing through the police, the different hospitals, and then the different government structures like the local government. And then the advocacy bit has been, one of the gaps has been the regulation of the different children's homes, where they have a limit on the age brackets which they admit the teenage children, the teenage mothers. You get to realize that most homes can take up to children who are at the age of 14 years and below. So a child who is above 14 years, probably 16 years, is not admitted to that home for safe space. And then our commitment as the CSO is to continue reviewing and revising the different statistics and coming up with different interventions based on evidence on ground. Thank you.
Awesome. Can we clap for ourselves? You've done so well. Please share those write-ups with the secretariat at the secretariat table. We are going to be able to capture them, and we are going to put them as part of the report from this symposium, but also to see that in our different thematic groups, these are the discussions that will continue happening and action thereof. Let me invite my big brother back, Mr. Damon Wamara, to come, and he's not taking us through the dance, I can promise. Yeah, please give the presentations to this lady. Yeah, all the write-ups from the different groups, give them to this Maureen. Yes. Let me invite Damon to come and help invite the commissioner. Thank you. Can we welcome him?
Okay, I thought I was done with talking today, but without delaying, let me just ask Commissioner to come and greet the people. I'll bring the mic to him so that he'll speak from here. I'll ask him to just greet, and if you have 1 or 2 comments, you can give the comments. But Commissioner is going to come back tomorrow in the morning, and he'll be with us. He'll be with us for the second policy brief and any other conversations that we'd want to have. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Commissioner Mondo Chateka.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Damon Kamese Peter Wamara. Honorable Anne, I'm happy to meet you. The various civil society organizations here present in this symposium, I'm delighted about the level of discussion I have managed to listen to. And I think this is the way to go. Giving a critical eye, critical consideration of issues that affect the children that we work for and with. It's important to always put off time to retreat, to plan, to audit yourselves, to find out the gaps, and also agree on how do we fill the gaps that we find along the way. The importance of learning and achieving through collaboration and networking cannot be overemphasized. The Baganda have a saying that atana ita ita, and I think they copied it from Busoga. Atana ita ita yatenda nyino kufumba, meaning that if you have not been to places, you think your mom is the best cook until you have tasted other mom's dishes, then you'll know, Mami si a single kufumba. But of course you cannot tell her, because that will be bad manners. But now, as you meet here from different organizations, you are able to exchange notes and you know how you are doing. How are you doing in accountability? How are you doing in creating awareness? How are you doing in child protection? How are you doing in child participation? How are you doing in all these things that concern the children? So to me, there is no better learning than learning from the peers. Peer-to-peer learning is extremely very, very important. And for that, let's clap for UCRNN for doing a good job. You also may want to know that you cannot do many things alone. We are talking about holistic delivery of services. So it's very rare that you'll find one organization offering health, offering education, offering protection, offering participation, and doing all this. But if you collaborate, if you partner with others, then you make the job better. And so I think you have to keep this organization of ours, UCRNN, more solid to ensure that it delivers. Somebody anonymous wrote and said, it takes both rain and sunshine to produce a rainbow. The power of collaboration. But also there is an African adage, and I'm happy that Anne is here, that says that if you want to move very fast, move alone. But if you want to go far, move together. There is everything that we can leverage in working as a group. I'm sure since you started this symposium, there are things you have learned. If you are open-minded. But if you come with your cup full, then of course you'll move away having learned nothing, because you believe that you know everything. But if you come with an open mind, you are always able to learn something new. And for that, it is important for us to keep together, because even Zig Ziglar is an author about networks. He says that your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. You cannot talk about referral without knowing who to refer to. The referral system must be known to you. You must know who is good at what. But also you know that even in terms of when you want to clap, let me get a genius who can clap with one hand. Now that is not clapping. If you do this, that's not clapping. That's calling me. That's inviting me. Let's clap with two hands and see. You see? That points to the power of coming together, the power of collaboration, the power of working, you know? And so I heard somebody talking about capacity, that some organizations don't have the capacity to deliver. Through coming together, you are able to develop your capacity. You will know organization X, how does it do it? How do they get so much funding? And you learn eventually. The issue is, temubiteekamu nsaalwa. How do I put that in English? You know, I think first in Uganda or in Rusoga, then I translate into this other language. Kubiteekamu obujja. Envy. You are envious of the other organization because it has more donors, it has more bazungus who visit, it has this and the other. Make that organization your friend. So that you say, how do you do it? How come development partners are always coming to you? How come you have big, this and this and the other? So you build capacity through learning from the other, not hating the other body. I thought that I had to comment about that. Pay any cost to be in a session with people who are better than you. That's a fundamental principle. If you have a group, even as an individual, that people you hang out with, you are the brightest, run away from that group because it's exploiting you. You need to hang out with people who are brighter than you so that you are able to learn from them. And that's the reason I'm seated near Honorable Anne, so that when I grow up, I can be like her. Yes. That's what brilliant people do. Seize every opportunity to learn something new. And I think tomorrow, when I come here, I'll be asking from group to group, what have you learned during this year's symposium? To me, that's very important. You need to have something you are carrying forward. This is not a ritual that we just come here, we dine, we wine, we lunch, we talk, and we go. We shall be examining ourselves tomorrow, and Madam, put me on the program. I'll be carrying around a paper to hear from people, what have you learned during the few days we have been here. I want to also request that let's learn to think out of the box. Let's not continue doing the same things we did yesterday. Barack Obama said, and I quote, "Show me a man who has done the same thing over and over again the same way and expects different results, and I'll show you a mad person." Doing the same thing over and over again the same way and you expect different results, you must be mad. But I like yet another man called Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs said, it's men, and let me put people, since I'm near Honorable Anne, because normally they use men, but where there is men, put people. Steve Jobs said, it's people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world who do. At a certain level, you must think like you are mad, but that madness can lead you into changing the society in which we live. When you look at the statistics about violence against children, you start thinking, can we overcome this? People are so violent to their own children. And when I look at the statistics, Honorable, I get scared. I say, why am I in this office? But I know with you who share my madness, I think we can change the profile of violence against children in Uganda and in Africa. I believe that we can. Yes, we can change the situation. It took this Honorable to fly from wherever to be here with us, and you think she came just to waste time around? She gave the keynote address. It is something honorable to have a honorable person talk to you. I want to thank you, and I want to say that as we leave tomorrow after our dinner, maybe I'm more saying things I'm not supposed to say. We need to see action. We need to see action. We have made promises. We have made commitments but commitments must be translated into action. Somebody was saying this morning at the embassy where I started, the embassy of Ireland, we are trying to see whether they can support us in one way or the other. Somebody said we must move away from the book of Lamentations to the book of Acts. Yes. That we have lamented. Let's go to the book of Acts. And we see action. And an American statesman, J.F. Kennedy, said, things don't happen. Things are made to happen. And it's you and me to make those things happen. And ask yourself, if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? I thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's now the time for the Zumba. Now you're not excited. All right. So you can take the heels off. If the eyebrows need to be removed, if the wig needs to go, this is the time. Yeah, it's time for you to go back to original factory default settings. Yeah, so I want to welcome our facilitator. I don't know if they're here. Please go ahead, take about 3 minutes to change. Yeah, you can use the bathroom, you can use the room upstairs. Please, women don't use men's bathrooms. Men don't use women's bathrooms. Let us stand up, let us go change. And if you don't have changing clothes, it's okay. Just remove your shoes. Yeah, remove your tie because it might choke you when you're jumping and dancing. And this one, there is no one leaving. We're actually closing the doors. Even Damon is going to dance. Yeah, it is that serious. So, many are called, but few are chosen. No, you're not standing. People, I give you permission to shut down your laptops. Yeah, it's officially, work hours are officially done. Please close. Thank you so much for being around for the whole day. Let us get into a Zumba session, and then we're able to have, this is a great networking opportunity. Self-care is important, and for you and I as people that care for others. Who is ready? Otia.